Oh, hello. Welcome back to the Political Beat at lfpress.com. I'm Pat. This is Chip. We cover City Hall for the London Free Press and lfpress.com, and when Chip's not doing that, he's written baseball's creation myth, Adam Ford, Abner Grave, and the Cooperstown Story, now available at amazon.ca. Chip, welcome back. It's been a while.
Thank you, Patrick.
I was on vacation, you were on vacation, then Morris was on vacation.
Let's call it summer hiatus, but actually it's a bunch of vacations that just came at various times.
And that way no one will suspect that you were actually suspended for insubordination.
Or that we were having a spat.
Right, a spat. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. There's lots to talk about though, and last time we did this, Norm was on, Norm DeBono, friend of the show, and I said, usually the summer, the news cycle slows down, but it's actually been pretty good news summer. Well, over and above the by-election, there's been lots of interesting stuff at City Hall. And speaking of the by-election, London West last week won by Peggy Sattler in a romp. Were you surprised by that?
I was. Actually, all the polls suggested it was going to go to the Conservatives. They had a strong candidate. Ali Chabar was back again. Everyone suspected Ali, and I guess at the last minute the support for the Liberals collapsed and went to the NDP, and surprise, surprise, we have Peggy Sattler.
There you go. Growing out of that, you had a very excellent front page article in today's, that's Wednesday's London Free Press, and you can read it at lfpress.com, on the London-based insurrection against Tory leader Tim Hudak. Walk our viewers through the ins and outs of that.
Well, there's a number of people in the London area that are concerned, the Conservatives in the London area that are concerned about the results of the by-election. I mean, there were 5 by-elections and the Conservatives only took 1 of the 5, and it was believed that Ali Chabar would probably take London West. However, there's 10 members of the Conservative Party based in the London Fanshawe riding that are trying to, actually they've submitted a motion to be considered at the party convention in September.
Which is actually in London.
In London.
By coincidence.
And they want to have a leadership review. Ordinarily, leadership reviews only occur after the party, in the case of the Conservatives, has been through a general election and does not become the government. So they had that vote last year, and it wouldn't be scheduled again until after the next general election. But this group of London, this hardcore group of London Conservatives, decide that they want to have this thing up for review, Hudak's leadership up for review in September in London, and they claim that Hudak is not electable and that we have to move on and find another leader. However, the question is, who's the other leader? I mean, who's the heir apparent? It seems to be pushing it a little bit, but...
well, is Tim Hudak unelectable as the leader?
A lot of Conservatives are saying that. It's
when you get 1 out of 5 by-elections, when you get the Liberals under fire, you got 5 by-elections, all Liberal seats, particularly one like London West, which was a Tory riding from 99 to 03. And not only do you not win that riding, but I mean, you get beaten pretty soundly by a party, the New Democrats, that have, I mean, strictly speaking, no business winning that riding, and good for them for doing it, and for Miss Sattler for doing it. That's a really bad sign.
Well, the Hudak supporters say the good in this is that all these 5 seats were held by either the Premier or Liberal cabinet members. These were all Liberal ridings and safe Liberal ridings. And despite that, they managed to win one in the GTA in Toronto with Doug Holliday, and that this was a major achievement.
But traditionally, a by-election is a chance for voters to kick the government in the teeth safely. They're not going to lose the government, but they can give them a kick in the pants.
And 2 of the 5 were returned Liberals.
Were held by the Liberals. And I just think London West is the exact kind of seat that you needed to win, and he was here plenty. They had a pretty decent candidate in Ali Chabar, and it wasn't even close. So I can understand why that concern is, and I would suspect, and would you agree, that the concern is not just a few people in London Fanshawe, there's Tories all over the province that are concerned.
I believe that to be the case, but the people in London Fanshawe that are behind this tell me that there's an issue with Hudak. He's not electable, he's not likable. Let's move on, find another leader, and we'll have a better luck next time out.
What about Jim Flaherty, I wonder?
Well, actually, one of the 10 in the London group has suggested to me that Jim Flaherty is the person that they'd like to come in and
one of the Tories behind the thing.
Yes, yes, wants to see Flaherty come down from the federal arena.
He's the finance minister, former MPP in Ontario.
In Ontario, I'm not sure what his cabinet post was. He wasn't treasurer in Ontario, but anyway, he's got a long record in serving in Ontario politics. And
his wife is an MPP.
Yeah,
Christine Elliott. Tory MPP.
MPP. However, others have suggested, one person suggested to me, quite surprisingly, that maybe Doug Holliday, the new Conservative, the brand new minted Conservative from Etobicoke Lakeshore.
Yeah, and he was the Toronto deputy
and he's
mayor.
been deputy mayor in London, in Toronto, and he's been he's got lots and lots of administrative experience at the municipal level, and they're saying it's not too big a jump that he could become leader of the province.
Oh, is that ever interesting? Oh, well, good luck to Mr. Hudak. It sounds like he's going to need it in September.
Yep.
Let's go to City Hall here in London. $30 million medical commercialization fund. In essence, the city has put $10 million aside to fund a medical research work in the city and hopefully come up with some breakthrough that creates hundreds of high-paying jobs and burnishes London's image as this medical hotbed in this innovative city. They have now partnered with Western. It's unofficial, but it's going to happen. Western's throwing $20 million in, the city's throwing $10 million in. They're going to build a new building up near the university that's going to be this headquarters for a commercialization fund that brings all sorts of efforts together and takes the work of super geniuses up at the university and tries to turn it into jobs. So you come up with some way to, I don't know, replace a tendon or something, an injured tendon in somebody's body, and they find a way to, well, that's a bad example, a stent that goes in somebody's heart, like a medical device. You create that idea, they commercialize it, the production's in London, bada bing, bada boom, hundreds of jobs, people making lots of money.
High paid jobs as well.
High paid jobs,
these aren't the sort of jobs that will be filling up the southwest sector in retail malls.
But this is a risky move because these are long-term, like you're talking about 5 years from the, like if I have a brainwave tomorrow, it's 5 years, they say, before you can have a medical device out. And it's 10 to 15 before you can have any sort of medicine or vaccine or something on the market.
And there's really no guarantee that the production of this will occur in London because big drug companies may take them to the States or elsewhere.
Part of what I kind of like about the idea is that it's a risk. This city is struggling, and some people at City Hall, people at City Hall are saying, it's time to take a swing for the fences. Yes, you might swing and miss, but it's time to take a swing. It's $10 million. It's a lot of money, but I don't know. I kind of like that idea.
It's a Hail Mary pass, no immediate payback, but well-paying jobs, attracts researchers to our city, uses that research park, which is quite frankly, I don't live too far from it, and it's underutilized. It's a real gem. There's potential there. It sounds like a good idea. Now, just to be clear, Patrick, there was $10 million set aside as part of that wish list of $60 million that the city talked about.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking, and I think there was $10 million for medical research. So they're talking about using that $10 million for
that's
this?
that $10 million.
So this isn't a new $10 million. This is money that
they had thought, oh, wouldn't it be nice if we spent this on a medical fund? Well, now we're going to spend it with the university to create.
Now, what about the coincidence of it being $10 million in both instances? Is that because Western saw that there was $10 million the city had set aside?
I suspect that that's part of the deal. Yeah.
Or did the city know that Western was cooking this thing up?
You know, I don't know. That's an interesting point. I don't quite think that the city thought that. I think that maybe Western and the city kind of thought, oh, we can work together on this thing, and the university is saying that they feel that they can get money from the federal government 3-4 times what the total $30 million is.
Well, quite frankly, I think $10 million put into this is certainly better than putting into infrastructure to service more retailing in the south end of the city that we don't really need. So I think that's a cheap investment.
It's a risk, and you're not supposed to take these kinds of risks with public dollars, I don't think. But then again, some of the very bright lights on city council, I think it's a good idea. So that gives me a bit of reassurance. Now, I will also say this. It's a very sturdy plank in a mayoral re-election campaign platform. Yes,
I hadn't thought of that.
You know, revolutionizing the city's economy, resonating around the world, visionary. These are all words.
This sounds like a fantastic opportunity for the city, so on and so forth.
It's incredible. So
incredible.
This is what the Mayor Fontana was saying, and let it be known that I believe that he is going to seek re-election, and if he does, or he has said that he's going to, and if he does, I believe that this is going to be part of that campaign. Also, let it be known, we had an article, and it's up at lfpress.com, you can find it, about this $30 million fund. This fund was made possible by $1 million that in the 2013 budget, Matt Brown said, let's take $1 million, give our City Hall corporate investment people a little bit of money to get the ball rolling, and then they can maybe get some projects going. That money gave them credibility that allowed them to bring together all the healthcare heavyweights in the city to put together the hospital people, the university people, all that stuff, to put together this $10 million fund, this $30 million fund that the mayor is now taking credit for. So really, this was all born out of $1 million out of the budget that was given to the corporate investment people.
And I think
guess who voted against that? The mayor voted against that.
I think I remember seeing an excellent article by you about this very thing.
It's a good article, and you can read it online. You can find it. And if you were to look at, you have a mayor now who I presume is going to take credit for this $30 million fund, who in fact voted against the genesis of it. So the lead of the story was, something tells me you're not going to be reading about this in Mayor Joe Fontana's re-election campaign literature. And I think that pretty harsh, but I think it's fair, and I think there's a lot of people on City Council. In fact, I got a lot of calls from people on City Council and people at City Hall who said thank you for writing that, because they weren't too pleased
that the mayor was taking credit.
Yeah. Not only taking credit for something that he didn't do, but taking credit for something that
he voted against.
He stood in the way of.
Yes.
So it's unbelievable. But I hope it all works out. I guess I don't know if it's going to, but A for effort, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. You want to talk about? There was some report, we didn't do it, I mean I don't think it's news, but that a 0% target has been set again for the 2014 budget. As far as I'm concerned, Joe Fontana ran on a campaign of 4 straight zeros. He abandoned it in the 3rd year, and now he's saying, oh, we're going to try to get back to 0 again in a campaign year in the 2014 budget. Sorry, just because it's on the news doesn't mean it is news. I think it's a target, and I think that's all it is, and I think it's meaningless.
Well, it's also, I know that the preliminary work on the budgets is underway right now, and the rubber will hit the road in the spring, but so far I don't see the city, I don't see a lot. I know they're not patching some of the sidewalks, and yes, there's potholes and that sort of thing, but they've been able to find some efficiencies, and I'm sure they will continue to look for them. Whether in fact 0% is realistic, achievable.
It's not achievable at all.
I don't think so.
They need 8 votes. Denise is long gone.
Yep.
She is long gone from the Fontana 8, and I think that Denise Brown, this is in Ward 11, anybody who thinks otherwise, as the year unfurls heading toward the election, I think you'll see that more and more clearly. He doesn't have the 8 votes to push through what would need to be controversial or contentious decisions to get to 0, and I don't think he himself even wants to. He abandoned the promise very publicly, and that's that.
Well, we'll see. We've got some interesting months ahead, Patrick. As we always say, stay tuned.
And you know what I like to call election season? It's the time of the year when everyone has to be nice to you and I at City Hall, because they all want to get reelected. Everybody's already being nice to me.
No one's ever been nice to me. Why are they nice to you? It's because you're rugged, good looks?
You wait till you go back in September. Everyone's going to be like, hey, Chip, how are you?
Yeah, right.
And like the people that want to be on City Council are going to be nice to us.
Well, I think the way they can curry my favor is to buy my book.
Oh, your book, Baseball's Creation Myth?
Yes.
Now available at Amazon.ca.
And possibly at Oxford Books, we hope, soon. Hillary and Mark, thank you.
That's hilarious. Okay, well, on behalf of...
do we have a ceremony here? I thought we had to add to our wallpaper.
What, the library?
To our library. Morris, can we get all this? We'll add this to our library. And hopefully that will continue to be a presence on the show.
Okay, well, on behalf of best-selling author Chip Martin, I'm Pat. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time at lfpress.com.
Sign out.